Are they telling us there's no difference between the Bears and the Packers? That's kind of what they're telling us right now with this point spread.
Well,
I
yeah,
would not agree with that at all. The Packers are definitely better than the Bears. Now we've seen the improved output from this Packers offense. They hit about that 400 mark this week against the Chargers, a couple weeks ago against the Rams. So is that about the opponent or what? Because other weeks in there, tougher defenses, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, they didn't do as much. I don't think you can deny that Jordan Love is getting better. I always have a tough time with Packers props because I never know like where the red zone targets are going, which running back's going to be involved. Okay, it's going to be a Dillon game if
mhm.
Aaron Jones misses, but Dillon hasn't been all that efficient this year. If you look at the red zone targets, Reed's near the top. He's been involved a lot. Ground game as well. Dobbs, he's tied for the lead with 12 red zone targets on the year. Musgrave gets looks. Wicks lately, not interested in Christian Watson at all, which that's been the surprising part with the Packers receivers to me, because I thought he was going to be a big part of the offense. One of the few guys that had some experience on this team. I'm not looking at a repeat of week 4, guys. I mean, week 4, the Packers are a different team. Jordan Love, much more inexperienced. Lions dominated 401 to 230 in the yardage. They ran all day. Montgomery, that was a 3-touchdown game, 211 rushing yards in that game. So I'm sure that's going to be the thinking where they want to run again on the Packers, and they'll probably try that, especially after Goff threw 3 interceptions at home this past week against the Bears. But, the Packers have some talent on defense as well. Lions teasers are going to be popular. I'm thinking right now, Packers plus 7.5. I think they can hang in this game.
They're out of it. I mean, losing to the Giants, I don't know how they make the playoffs at this point. Everyone's talking about Ron Rivera losing his job, new regime, new ownership. This is the year they're evaluating everyone and probably going to turn the page on many folks in that building all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how the Commanders, even when Sam Howell is playing well, can keep up with Dak and this Cowboys offense. I just don't think they have the personnel. 11 is a lot of points. This is nasty. I don't know what to do. I'll just be on the Commanders side. Why not? They do call it Dallas week here in Washington, and Dallas doesn't do that. The Commanders hate the Cowboys, and they take this very seriously. Maybe they find a way to cover this number before they're completely dead for the season.
Smith, he's a competitor. He is fierce. He's going to want to be out there no matter how limited he might be. And I have to think, given the importance of this game, that Pete Carroll also wants him out there, because if Drew Lock is your starting quarterback, you're not winning this football game. No way, no how. In fact, you might get blown to smithereens because the 49ers are playing at a very, very high level right now. So in that respect, this is one of those times where normally I would be extra cautious about, okay, if the line moves because of a backup quarterback or a quarterback injury, whatever it is, okay, you may want to go and fade that direction. But in this particular instance, okay, let's say Geno Smith's good to go for this game come Thursday and the line goes down to, say, 5, something like that. I'm backing the 49ers. This is probably a time where I want to wait and get a much better number, knowing full well that San Francisco is going to come ready to play.
The idea is probably it can't get any worse. It can't. It can't possibly get any worse. There are probably some immediate fixes that are obvious to everyone in that building. And one of them is, why is Najee Harris still getting all this run over Warren? I mean, Warren clearly the best back that they have. And he adds another dimension to that offense. He should be getting more run. And spot-wise, it's probably a really good spot. If they win that close game, is this change being made? No, it's not. Just like the Bills last week, if they end up winning, if they don't have 12 guys in special teams on the field, missed field goal, they win the game, they're probably not making a change. And then what happens this past week? Who knows? but yeah, like you're going against a backup quarterback with Cincinnati. Then you got Arizona, one of the worst defenses around. Then you've got New England. They're a dumpster fire right now. Who knows? It's going to be Bailey Zappi. Then you got the Colts. They're a bottom feeder as well. Then you got Cincinnati once again for another backup quarterback. Like the path right here is set up for some Steelers success. And if they have that, everybody's going to say, see, it was Canada. I'm not out here, here to defend Matt Canada in any way. He should have been fired a long time ago. But timing wise, it's interesting because they better have some success over the next month. I do think they're going to be in a playoff spot, and everybody's going to point to Canada. I think they were on their way to a playoff spot even before firing Canada. Before we dive into the games, because I think it's fascinating, people are looking for games on Thursday/Friday, and if you don't have one of those, it's going to be a tough decision come Sunday. But I'm not going to name any names, but I want to share with you an email that I received and get your thoughts. Now, we just finished up week 11 yesterday, okay? Mm-hmm. It was week 11. Here's the email. I'm requesting a possible mulligan due to week 10 regarding Joe Burrow and a possible unreported injury. There's an NFL investigation regarding an unreported injury that may have existed prior to week 10. I don't know all the facts, but I'm just saying if the injury existed prior to the game and was reported as required, then I would not have picked the Bengals in week 10 due to an injury to the quarterback. Please let me know if you have any definitive information on this subject and if it applies to week 10. I've already heard Paul turn his microphone on.
Banned for life. Banned for life from every pool ever. Any pool you run, your baseball pool, any Survivor pool, squares. Never gamble again.
Calcutta.
Never gamble again. Oh
my God. Is this the people begging for refunds online? Is that what this is?
Or like 100%. Calling BetMGM's customer service to argue the bets they lost? Like, I'm sure he's done that too.
Wait, didn't Giglio used to do that?
Oh.
I dated a guy who did that in front of me once. I was like, this is a rookie move.
And by the way, in that game, the game in question, it was against the Texans. Burrow threw for 347 yards. Mm-hmm. Don't forget that part. 347. Yeah. But yeah. So
wait,
I mean,
this isn't even the Ravens game?
That's what I'm saying. It's week 10. We're talking about the Texans game. So we have 5 large point spreads, most of them Thursday, Friday. Almost all of them. Now, the San Francisco line went under a touchdown when we got word that it sounds like Geno Smith might be playing, but we'll still count that as one of them. So I think what most people are doing is, okay, between Dallas, Miami, KC, Detroit, San Francisco, do I have any of these teams available? In my pool, for instance, it's not many. Not many people have these teams. It's just a small handful on each team. So maybe people have used them all up. 4 of the 5 play on Thursday or Friday. What else I find interesting, Ed, is that all 5 of these large point spreads are all divisional matchups. So if that's one of your rules, you might have to break said rule for this week 12.
I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings here. Not a high confidence pick on my behalf, but I need to keep the Ravens for week 18 when they probably have a meaningful game for the division or a better seed. And I'm just scared of the Chargers at this point. So I can't take Baltimore there, but I'm more than comfortable taking the Vikings. The defense has performed well against play action passing, and that Bears D cannot stop any aspect, I think, of what Josh Dobbs wants to do. I think this is a good get-right spot for Minnesota here, so I'm going to back them for my Sunday Survivor pick.
Okay. Now, I am in still one pool, and I have one spot left, and for this pool, I have not saved anyone. Each week, I was like, I don't care. If I stay alive in this pool, cool. I've just been taking the best pick on the board and not worried about the future value at all. So this past week, I took San Francisco. Week before that, I took Dallas. I just looked of the 5 games that we talked about, those larger point spreads, I've used them all. So I'm forced to take a Sunday, Monday game because I wasn't saving anyone. Like I used the Lions back in week 8. And my other pool, I did have Detroit available, which I probably would have used here. So here's my pick. I don't know the quarterback of this team. And I still say this is my pick on a Tuesday morning. Tommy DeVito's not beating Bill Belichick. Okay? He's not winning back-to-back. Give me New England. That's my pick.